The satisfaction of a goal so hard that it grinds my teeth. The feeling that the world does not exist outside of the time left on the clock. So call me a junkie, call me insane, call me addicted, but don't call me during the game. This is the Ultimate Sports Show with Thomas Mlambo. Weeknights 6 till 7 p.m. Exclusive to men.
It's a Thursday. Thursday is the ultimate inspiration. That's what we do. We inspire. We speak to somebody who will inspire, who has inspired, who has done something amazing, who has gone above and beyond for their sport, for their country, for us. And today, that man is Mkuku. It is Neil Tovey. We're going to be touching base with Neil, finding out about his career, and also touching a little bit, I think, on the fact that, he was SAFA's technical director for the last 5 years until 2020. From 2015, SAFA hasn't had a permanent technical director since then. And, what was it like? And why is it the situation that we're in as far as the national team not qualifying for things? So that's Neil. The other thing that's going to be big in the show today is sticking with things that are Bafana related. There's some great legends, wonderful players who play golf nowadays from Bafana through the decades. And you could play golf with them. It could be a Jimmy Dow that you enjoy, or it could be someone like Tovey, or it could be someone like Lucas, who's playing a lot of golf these days, or Mark Williams or Sean Bartlett. They're all going to be playing in a golf day on Tuesday. You could win a prize today on the Ultimate Sports Show that has you in the 4-ball with them, swinging the clubs. 5 hours with that legend, chatting about your favorite moments as you walk the fairways. That's coming up later in the show. This is the Ultimate Sports Show. Coming up next, the Ultimate Thoughts.
Lottoland brings you bags of moolah. You can win your share of 125,000 Rand this coming week. Register on lottoland.co.za and listen to Clues on the Bridge. Find them, place a bet on the lotto, and WhatsApp your number to 060-806-1685, and you can stand a chance to win. The bags of moolah are big, so don't miss out. Lottoland is giving you bags of moolah to fill your pockets with real cash. Lottoland South Africa is a licensed bookmaker with the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. The National Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling line is 0800-006-008. WhatsApp help to 076-675-0710. For competition T's and C's, go to metrofm.co.za. Metro FM, it's where it's at.
Yo, all I need is one mic. It's time for Thomas and Mlambo's Ultimate Thoughts of the Day.
Nothing gonna stop me now.
The Ultimate Thoughts of the Day with Thomas and Mlambo.
Okay, let's get into some of the things that I'm thinking about, some of the stories that caught my eye, and some of the things I think you'll be interested in. And let's start out by talking about some local news, right? So Caster Semenya, the legendary, the magnificent Caster Semenya, the Cobra, is back running. In Cape Town last night, she ran a 3,000 meter race, and she did well. Personal best, 8 minutes 54, 10 seconds off her best time ever. So we're happy with that. And all of the purpose of this is that Caster is in the process of putting together a run at trying to run the 5,000 meters at the World Championships later this year. So Caster's looking pretty good. And the reason why she's looking at the 5,000 meters is that obviously as an 800 meter, double Olympic champion, she's not allowed to run that event. World Athletics coming out with those rules that women athletes with high testosterone levels naturally occurring in their bodies cannot run in the 400 meters, the 800 meters, and the 1500 meters. So Casta's using this 3,000 to get herself ready for the 5,000. The qualifying time for the 5,000 meters to be at the World Champs is 15 minutes and 10 seconds. So Casta says she's doing well. She's happy with her performance so far and is looking forward to all of that. So can't wait, Casta. All the best. We want to see you at those World Championships. And sticking with things that have happened in local news, the Bangladesh Cricket Board. Earlier on today, they announced a bonus. Imagine, their bonus. They beat South Africa. And the reason they're so happy, right, is, it's history for Bangladesh. Beating South Africa in that ODI test series yesterday, they won the series 2-1. It's the first time that Bangladesh have ever beaten a major cricket nation in an ODI series. And yesterday they hammered us. They hammered us. We made 154 runs all out, and then they cruised to 156 in just 26 overs. It was a high ding. But the thing I like the most is the way they're celebrating in the newspapers in Bangladesh, because one of the headlines here is all about the fact that, I like this headline. It says, Tigers create history in the land of the lions. That's Bangladesh. And the bonus, $350,000, so about 5 million rand for the Bangladeshi players to share amongst themselves. The test series begins now, and that'll be on the 31st in Durban. 31st of this month, we'll be playing against them in Durban. So Chelsea, when it comes to that football club, they're now allowed to sell tickets. And that's good news for them, I guess, because it's been tough. But according to the latest, the club now can sell tickets to Champions League matches and can sell tickets to games for the FA Cup. The new license is on the back of the fact that, I guess these measures that were against Roman Abramovich are a little bit too harsh. The club was starting to suffer a little bit because Roman Abramovich alleged to have links with Vladimir Putin. And now what they're saying is that the new license allows tickets for those matches and any other further Champions League, FA Cup, or Women's Super League matches to be sold, with the proceeds of those games going to the relevant competition organizer. Can you imagine? They can sell tickets, but it goes to the organizer of the competition, not to Chelsea itself. Wow. Okay. And then it then goes on to say the government has today made alterations to the license to Chelsea Football Club so that fans will be able to access tickets to away matches, cup matches, and women's fixtures. This was from the sports minister, Nigel Huddleston. So Chelsea fans, at least you can go watch some football, but it's not as you would like it to be. The situation there is still tricky. It's still tight. So those are a couple of the thoughts. Coming up next, I'm going to give you an idea as to how it is that you can win that prize and get out there and be on the golf course with a Bafana legend. And we'll have the ultimate, because I love football like that, right? Ultimate inspiration with Neil Tovey.
Have your say and call Thomas. Okay. On 089-110-3377. Or get in touch with the Ultimate Sports Show via WhatsApp on 079-585-6157. It's the Ultimate Sports Show with jersey number 10, Thomas Mlambo. It's time for the Ultimate Inspiration.
Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire.
Dedicate myself and I'm working hard, and this is why the goals and all the achievements that I get coming from dedication and hard work.
My whole life, I dedicated my whole life to the sport of boxing. I make mistakes, but I strive every day to be a perfectionist.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. I'm still the greatest of all time.
He's one of the greatest of all times. I'm the greatest of all time.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. I think that's what greatness is or should be. It's not something that lives and dies with one person.
Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
The Ultimate Inspiration with Thomas and Mlambo.
On a Thursday, why do we do it? Why do we have an ultimate inspiration? It's really all about the fact that we want to inspire. We want you to get the stories from the greats of sports, great administrators, great athletes, and have that maybe be something that can touch you, can inspire someone sitting next to you, wherever you are listening to the show, and maybe trigger that seed in that person to become one of the greats in the future. That's the ultimate inspiration. That's what we try and do on a Thursday. And Neil Tovey is one of those individuals. I mean, when you think Neil Tovey, you see that visual of him wearing a Tunisian jersey, lifting the Africa Cup of Nations back in 1996, the first time that South Africa won it, the only time that we've won it. Tata Nelson Mandela standing next to him, South Africa in rapturous, joy. It was a unifying moment. Neil Tovey is a white coach in a country that's predominantly black. I mean, a player in a country that's predominantly black. And just all the melting pots of this country came together in that moment, and we were just one. It was a true example of Rainbow Nationness. And we're going to get back to that and how he felt in all of those times. But yeah, Neil Tovey, also a great with Kaizer Chiefs, a member of what people talk about as maybe the greatest Kaizer Chiefs team of all time, that team of 1991. And I want to hear from Neil if he agrees that 1991 team is an all-time great. And Neil's done it all, played, coached, maybe even refereed. We'll find out. Umkuku, Neil Tovey, welcome to the Ultimate Sports Show. How are you?
Yeah, hi Thomas. How you doing, my friend?
Good. But you can make a little bit more noise, man. I gave you a great introduction there. Please, something, a bit of applause. Stand on the vuvuzela.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you, Neil.
Well done,
Thank you. Nowadays, I was checking you out, right? You're a golfer nowadays.
I've always been a golfer. That's where, you a time away from football where you just yourself on a golf course and hitting the ball to all bloody ends of the golf course, not necessarily straight at times, and it just helps you think a little bit about life and football and everything. It's a big level at a game of golf.
Yeah,
so I've always enjoyed it.
And Neil, what people don't know, right, who don't play golf, is that we can spy on each other as golfers. There's an app we can check. How often is this guy playing golf? Where is he playing golf? What his current handicap is? What he's shooting? And I looked. You are doing a lot of thinking. Because you're on the golf course quite a bit, man. Like last week, like 3 times in 1 week. Neil, I want your life.
I've got time on my side at the moment, Tom. I always enjoy the game. As I said, it's a lovely game. It's a dead ball, not a moving ball, and it's only you, and you can only blame yourself. You can't blame anything else. Even if it hits a tree and goes into the dam, you hit it against that tree. So, yeah, it's a beautiful game. And
now,
I enjoy it.
What I want to let our listeners know is that they have an opportunity to play with maybe you or Sean Bartlett or someone like Mark Fish or Mark Williams or Jimmy Dow. Through the generations, Bafana players will be playing golf next week, Tuesday. It's the 1996 class of 1996 Legends Golf Day. And if you're listening to the Ultimate Sports Show right now, you can win a chance to play golf and watch the match with Bafana Legends. Like, watch the game against France, watch it with the Legends, hear their comments live right there, stand next to them, holding a cold one after having played golf. All you need to do is visit the website, www.class of96.co.za to enter the competition. Competition ends on the 28th of March, and the participant must be from the Gauteng province or able to get to the golf course and look after themselves when they're in Joburg. The golf will be at Bryanston Country Club. And yes, here's your opportunity. I'm going to give you that website again, www.classof96.co.za. Golfers out there, come and show these footballers what you can do, right? Get out there and give them a hiding. I know I will. I'll be playing as well. So I'm going to be out there showing Neil that I can definitely do the business, Neil. But Neil,
I hope you're playing for Team Metro Wired. I don't want you in my team, Thomas.
No, but I mean, I can go against you, but that means you're going to lose. You're going to lose for sure. So you better hope that I'm with you, Neil. Looking forward to the day?
I am very much so. We've been trying to put this together for a long, long time. COVID has put a spoke in the wheel a number of times, and hasn't given us opportunity, as it's supposed to be our 25 years anniversary, but obviously we know it's the 26th now. And but it's a big thank you to all involved in putting it together, to Errol Mundala. He's run with it, and he's been very much behind us to get something going. And this is only the start. This golf day, we're going to support a number of charities. There's going to be football clinics during the day. Some of the guys that don't really play golf will be doing football clinics at Stim Pavilions. And support of Shoes of the Wisdom Foundation, So yeah, that's the golf is going to be great. There's a lot of opportunity for companies to come forward and get a 3-ball, because you will play with a Bafana legend.
Wow.
So spend a day hitting the ball with a legend. And just talking football, talking business, you're talking anything you want, and just enjoying the beautiful course of Bryanston. And and then, as you said, afterwards is going to be a great opportunity to talk football.
I'm going to be discussing your handicap, man, because your handicap is now, Neil. You're like a 10. No,
a little even better than that, but yeah.
No, like I saw
that's
you
the beauty of the game. That's the beauty of the game is that
I checked your index. Your index is like 7.5 there, so you're about a 10 handicap.
About 7.5 gone out. Well, that's even better than for me.
So
Yeah,
you're cheating. Basically, you're cheating. Basically, I think you're engineering that handicap for us.
But that's been the beauty of the game. That's why golf is so beautiful, because we have handicaps, and you're only as good as you are on that day.
Well, my handicap's better than yours. So what does that say?
Yeah, I hope it is.
It really is. It really is. We'll see it on the course. Neil, I'm coming back to you, and then we're going to get into a conversation about you. We're going to find out about why it is that for many, you're one of the ultimate inspirations in their life, and you also symbolize one of the ultimate sporting moments, and maybe even one of the ultimate unifying moments of South African history. Coming up next.
Love, we're late for the wedding. Let's just use Google Maps.
Relax, we're not lost. Baby, I've been there before. At this corner, we're turning left.
Turn right.
Bangene fast with 4G and Google apps, like finding directions with Google Maps. On the powerful 5-inch display of the Technopop 2X Air 4G smartphone for only 599 Rand on prepaid. You also get 140 minutes, 1.2 gigs anytime data, and 1 gig YouTube data monthly for 12 months. When you recharge for 29 Rand every month, go online or visit a Vodacom, Pep or Ackerman store or other participating retailers. T's and C's apply. Wear a mask. Stay safe. Further together. Vodacom.
Fuel your passion and win one of 5 once-in-a-lifetime trips to the Premier League with BP. Win flights for you and a partner to the UK, VIP matchday tickets, stadium tours, and meet a Premier League legend. Just spend 250 Rand at BP or 100 Rand at BP Express, Pick and Pay Express, or Wild Bean Cafe, or top up with Castrol Edge or Magnatech to enter. Competition ends 31 March. T's and C's apply. BP. Every day brighter.
Schools are now back to full-time attendance. This means sport and other extramural activities are back on. But this also means there might be a higher chance of COVID-19 spreading. Young people can still catch COVID-19 and still get very sick. If you're 12 years or older, you can get vaccinated to help protect yourself, your family, and your friends. Parents are encouraged to take you for your vaccination, or when the opportunity arises, you can vaccinate in your school with your parents' or guardian's consent. There is no need to book an appointment. You can just walk straight into the vaccination site. To find your closest site, check out sacoronavirus.co.za/active vaccination sites. Got questions? WhatsApp a message to 0600 123 456. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Health in partnership with the Department of Basic Education, with generous support from the United States Agency for International Development.
It's the ultimate sports show with jersey number 10, Thomas Mlambo.
We're going to get into Neil Tovey's story very, very shortly. I mean, what a man, what a player, what a legend. 50 odd games, 52 caps for Bafana. He's one of the all-time greats when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs. 362 games, 362 matches for Amakhosi. And by my reckoning, that's right up there amongst the record holders. He's also got the record, I think, for the most games in one season for Kaizer Chiefs, 52 of them. So Neil is one of those that will never be forgotten in the annals of football history here in South Africa. And you guys are already talking. You're sending through your voice notes. So let me hear from you. Then I get into Neil and I tackle him. with my jersey number 10.
Good evening, Bra Thomas. Ukhuluma noSibongile Wamkhwane kaMgaya Mathafene. Bra Thomas, thanks very much for bringing in Umokoko studio. Hey, I'm very proud of that man. He led the Kaizer Chiefs with aplomb. Can you ask him? He was not disappointed that in his career he never played overseas. Thank you, Bra Thomas.
Evening, jersey number 10, Thomas Mlambo, and evening to jersey number 9, Neil Tovey. It's jersey number 8, Derek Amgoni from Amlazi, Durban. Thank you so much for bringing the legend, Thomas, at the studio. We're looking forward to hear the insights from our legend, a very own legend, Neil Tovey. And looking forward to hear what are they doing as legends to help our national team to come out from the mess that we are in. We seems to be crying year in, year out. We're not qualifying for everything. Not sure why. And this thing of changing coaches is not sitting well with us fans. I mean, like in national team now, I'm not talking about the DSTV teams, talking about the national team, changing coaches. We would love to see our legends at the national team, like the other national teams, like Senegal. You see, Senegal is doing well.
Right, Neil. So you've heard a couple of those, and I invite all of you to get through to us, send your voice notes through, call into the studio, speak to Neil, direct your questions, celebrate your great memories of him on the field, maybe even as a coach. You know, he's coached all over the place. He's even won league titles in South Africa and with a national team, and that's a story I'll tell you very, very shortly. So, Neil, you heard there. Do you want to just deal with that before we celebrate and take you way, way back into time?
Yeah, no problem. The last question about helping the national team and all that, and a big thank you to all the fans out there and all the support. And I also just like, before I even say a word, it wouldn't be wise without me talking about shoes, Phil and Cedric. You know, we can't forget their souls rest in peace. You know, they were heroes of our game, and you know, very still, although not here, they're still very much part of our events that go forward, and there'll be a lot of honouring of them with other events. So yeah, can't forget that. To help with the national team, yeah, we'd love to. You know, as you know, I was a technical director for 5 years. I tried to put programs in place, and I did put programs in place, and you know, and try to put back into the game that I love so much. And you know, unfortunately, my contract came to a finish in 2020, and right in the middle of COVID. That was quite a difficult time for both Safa, and then I had to obviously come home. So. You know, yeah, I still love to give back to the game, and you know, I'm thinking of trying to put together some here in Durban a home for I've discussed it. I'm just waiting if I'd love to put a home together for Amazulu too. You know, get their home in Durban and get their place where they can build homegrown talent. Because as you know, I live in Durban.
Yeah.
That would be one of the projects I'd love to, considering my technical experience that I've had with both SAFA, CAF, and FIFA. Yeah, and you know, we love the game so much. So yeah, I just other questions. I just go through them.
No. You covered everything there, Neil. However, what I wanted to get into is you guys, right? Bafana Legends. You have a WhatsApp group? You're in contact with each other all the time?
Yeah, we are. You know, we talk to.
What do you talk about?
Yeah, we just talk. There's a coaching. Obviously, there's a coaching platform that a whole lot of stuff gets discussed. Obviously, contact with a lot of guys. Mark Williams being in Joburg. Mark Fisher's now in Durban. You know, so yeah, we can all get together, and you know, and yeah, there's always the discussion about the game. As you know, Sean Barker's doing very, very well in the Cape now. Tinkler, so it's great to have our class of 96 doing so well. And obviously all the coaches at Sundowns doing immensely well in the Champions League and Pirates in the Champions League. It's great. And Benny obviously had a tough task in his Africa campaign, back-to-back losses, but unfortunate. But that's how you learn, you know. And so our coaches are making huge strides. You see Desars now with Egypt. So, it's spreading our horizon, and Pits are doing so immensely well with Al-Ahly.
So, Neil, yesterday we put out this question to our listeners, and it was Bafana related. What's going wrong from the glory days? We find ourselves in the situation that they were in today, where we're going to be spectators tomorrow for the World Cup qualifiers and watching 10 other nations play to qualify. Yeah. Can you give us a short answer? Is there one?
It's very hard. It's a bit of both, and I'll give my version. It's only my thought process about it.
That's the one we want.
There's two aspects to it. I think the mental aspect of our team in '96, people don't really know how strong we were, and I think the quality of the team that is nowadays has similar qualities. The players are very, very good, but it's not only about the individual talent; it's how they will rise to the occasion at the moment. And football in national teams is about winning big moments. There's big moments when you get the opportunity to take a chance and you go 1-0 up. You can either miss it and it's still 0-0, and they come the other side and they score a goal that, you think, how did we defend like that? So turnarounds in matches, and I think that comes from a mental attitude of people getting themselves concentrated for the entire 90 minutes plus.
But
I see a lot of the games how people just drift in and out the game. You say, she's unbelievable. How did he do that? And you don't see him for 10, 15 minutes. Whereas that was not the case in our team of 96. Everybody was part of it. Whether they were on the bench, they were looking, okay, if I get my moment now, what am I going to do? How's my opponent? And I don't think that much of the thought process gets put into.
What are they doing now? When you look now at the bench, when you look at the players now, what do you see them doing? What's going on? When you look mentally?
I don't see them doing at times. Obviously in Africa, Sundowns are apart. They are doing what, and that's what's so difficult to understand, that they're doing so well in Africa. Sundowns are, and they're doing everything right. They're making the game so simple. They're making it, really. I mean, they go down to 10 men and they still can come out with a victory. Yes, I understand. A lot of the key players are then not South African. The guys that are scoring the goals at key moments are Namibians and doing it. So that's sad. And the other thing is that if you look at that 96 team, and then how many players then went on to play in the top leagues, they were having the high competition levels at, continuously week in, week out. And we've got to look at our premiership and think, are we not, I look at the game sometimes and I think, gee whiz, how can you do a simple aspect like that? Yes, mistakes are made, I understand that. But it's that highly competitive matches week in, 3 times a week, week out, and that's what the game is about. And so I don't know if I've answered the question, but I believe the mental capacity of the players is undermined, and you've got to look at that side of the game.
Why?
We were very, very, very strong in that aspect, both on and off the field.
Why, Neil? Because essentially, basically from maybe the year 2000 on, we've seen this steady decline. And if it's only mental, why has it that South African players mentally, all of them, for the last 20 years, have not been mentally strong enough?
I think it could come from the huge success of the PSL.
Yeah.
In the fact that the clubs are earning huge money from the TV rights, and now the players are earning really, really good money.
Here in South Africa.
And rightly so. I'm not denouncing their money at all. Not at one aspect I'm not denouncing. Every cent they earn is great. But are they determined and still driven to go to training every day and to better their ability? I mean, I was training 5:30 in the morning, and then going to a training session at Chiefs at 9 o'clock, and then finishing the training session, going home, and I do a spinning class at 5 o'clock in the afternoon sometimes, you know, and trying to take my competition level to another level, and that was just me. I wanted to do that, and I don't know how driven the players are today, you know, about that whole aspect of wanting to, when you have success, to keep getting more and more and more success.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it could be argued that especially the DStv Premiership is not a selling league. We're not a league in the world that necessarily is focused on producing talent for other leagues anymore. You know, the players seem to be comfortable to play their career in South Africa, finish their career here, and earn a good living here.
That's exactly it. You know, they get in and I'm just, you know, obviously everybody has their own opinion. You know, there are the leagues, Belgium, Portugal, you know, not the top 5 leagues, where Fish, Lucas, Philemon, Sizwe, Tinkler, Nyati, all of them were playing in shoes. You know, they were playing in those top leagues. It's a lesser leagues in Europe, which are highly, highly competitive. And you just have to ask yourself, Matthew Booth, about being in Russia, how that made him such a better person and such a better player. You know, the rigors of being in Russia in winter, and you know how it develops you as a person and as a player. And here we have players. Okay, I'm not talking about all players are being branded with the same brush. No, there's players here that are doing the right things and wanting more and more success. But I don't believe it's more than 80%.
Are you saying there's a comfort zone?
Yeah, definitely. Hell of a comfort zone in our players here in this country. But
how do you fix that, Neil? Because as much as you can identify,
that comes with your own personal striving of what you want to do, because the club can only do so much. They want to put you in that comfort zone. You can't blame the clubs for that. You've got to. It's an individual. That's an individual person saying, "I want more. I want to do better. But I have a great game. I'm the man of the match, and I get told about the media. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm hunky dory. No, go back and still analyze what you didn't do right in the game, and keep knowing and keep striving to get better and better. And at training, you know, do more and more. I don't know.
Yeah, Neil.
Maybe that's different.
Let me hear what the listeners are saying. Neil, Tovey, they're laying it out mentally.
Good evening, Thomas. Jersey number 10. This is jersey number 9 here, Spijo.
Spijo.
Savannah City, Spijo Maguma. Just want to thank you, Thomas, for bringing a legend there at the studio. That's the old version, Yaga Van Dijk. I just want to ask him a question, Oguti. How does it feel, Magabugela game Kaizer Chiefs? The way the defense we have, the way approach of the game Kaizer Chiefs applies. How does it feel? And what's his take on that? Thank you very much.
Good evening, Thomas, just number 10, and good evening to Neil Tovey, just number 9. what a legend. Our most efficient defender that we ever had at Amakosi. I think the guy deserves a belt. So just one quick question. In terms of the national team, do you think we need a South African coach, or is Hugo Bruce on the right track? I know, Neil Tovey, you are good with that. So please just tell us if we do need a South African coach, because that has been my feeling that we need a South African coach.
All right, I got Mason on the line from Tsakani. Mason, welcome to the show. Please speak to Neil Tovey, our ultimate inspiration today, who's really been thumped with the questions. I'm loving the questions.
Good evening, Thomas, and so glad to be speaking to Neil as well. You've had a stellar career, so we look up to you. I was just speaking to a friend of mine earlier. I just want to find out something. Do you not think that it would be better for us to emulate other nations' successes? You know, you look at your Germanys, you look at your Spains and France and Brazil. You know, for the reason why they have accumulated so much success is because the foundation has been laid. So their football federations and whatnot are on point. Everything is standard. Everyone knows their duties and jobs. I think it's bigger than the players' mental aspects or moral fiber or determination. I mean, these are good players. But do you not think that if we would have a SAFA that is well run, a SAFA that is well maintained, that would then create a solid foundation for these players to be able to actually achieve so much more success? Because it does not make sense that we try to qualify, we try to do that, but it does not work out. We keep on changing coaches. There's actually so much going on.
All right, so there you go, Neil. Our caller there. Maybe start with him.
Yeah. No, I fully hear him. That I'm just giving one aspect of the mentality of the players. I don't think it was the same mentality as in '96. He's 100% right. Obviously, when you talk to the likes of Germany, France, all the top European nations, but they've got budgets. Their budgets are unbelievable. Their budgets for probably their under 13 team is as much as Bafana team.
But Neil, how does money make a football team better?
No, I tell you why. I'm not talking. He's talking about the development of the game. So, unfortunately, you need to put structures in place so that you can have efficient school programs in place, efficient football put in place, which then lends to the competitiveness. That leads into the development centers, then into the football-focused schools, into the high-performance centers, and then you get an elite. And then you study working with an elite crop of 100, 120 players through maybe even more, 200 players through the 9 provinces. And then you really got your top coaches, top youth coaches working with those players week in, week out. And they are then embarking on playing at highly competitive football. And you just have to look at, while these World Cup qualifiers are on in Europe at the moment, they're under 21s, they're under 17s, playing against each other in highly competitive matches at a very, very young age. That is what's needed. So unfortunately, yes, we're not Europe, and I don't want to compare Africa to Europe. We have our strengths and huge strengths, and Europe has a huge strength. We can compete as players and individuals with all those players in the youth. We compete with them. But then it comes to the game plans and the ability to run with the whole complex unity in the game. High pressing, whether you're going to go for low press, when to squeeze, set pieces. So there's a whole lot of other components that lead to a successful national team. And they do that highly effectively well to the European nations. And so, yes, I hear him It's definitely, yes, SAFA needs to be more efficient. It can be more efficient. They want to be more efficient. But it's very, very difficult to compare South Africa with Germany. We have a budget that is totally... Yes, we need to find money. We need to put more money into it. And there can be programs that can compete, that can get us into that situation. But that's what is needed. If I can come in the earlier question about Chiefs.
Yeah, like your feelings about the team. And then the other question that was there was, do we need to go local with a coach? You know, we've got Hugo Bruce, who seems to be doing a lot of things that are focusing on the youth, like you've been speaking about. But the one question that was put was, you know, should we be looking internally for a solution, maybe post Hugo Bruce?
Let me talk about Chiefs first. I think, you know, what's missing as I see at Chiefs at the moment is and they were talking defensively, is a leader there that can organize and really be a rock there that week in, week out, he's not even worried about his own game. He's at a high nature or caliber of performance so that he can then just take control of the situations around him, the control of situations in front of him, because, you know, that was one of the strengths that I tried to bring into the Chiefs team that I was in, is that they be highly, highly organized without the ball.
But you got Bafana legends.
So when we're on attack, I'm already defensively organizing the team while we're on attack. But if it breaks down, we are defensively better equipped, closer to person, to other players, so that you can stifle that counter-attack or that quicker and not get, geez, he's 10 meters off the player. He's watching us attack. Meanwhile, other strikers are drifting away into areas, dangerous areas. So that was, you know, one of the areas that I was trying to move players about, contain areas, make areas smaller. And that's at the moment where I'm seeing the Chiefs. They have got very good players, but there's no commander-in-chief.
But you've got
no leader.
You've got Bafana players there. You've got the Matoho, the Cardoso.
There's no leader in Bafana.
There's no leader in Bafana?
There's no leader at the moment in Bafana. The players are also, and that's also where I'm coming to our success. When I look at the team, I'm not saying that they are very good players. They're extremely good players. But there's no one taking control of the game. And you don't want just one player. That was the strength of the 1916. We had Lucas, we had Fish, we had Tinkler, we had Doc, we had myself. We would take control of the situation, all of us. It wasn't just left up to me. And that was from communication or movement or tackles or distribution or whatever facet to take control of the game that was needed, we would do. And at the moment, I'm not seeing it in Bafana. I'm not seeing it in Chiefs. You know, there's too many times that a situation happens and I think all the guy had to do is move 2-3 yards to his left, 2-3 meters to his left, and he could have cut that problem out without even thinking.
But is that a skill thing?
The opposition wouldn't have passed there in the first place.
Is that a skill thing or a leadership thing? I
The
mean,
leadership and identifying problems. You know what? There's an old saying, Thomas, you know, why try to sort out the problem when the problem's happened? You know, sort out the problem before it happens. So you're making decisions, you're making opposition decide, I'm not going to pass there because I see a player there. But if you don't move that player there, he's going to pass it there. And then you're still going to have to run there. And obviously in this time of the game is so quick. And international football is so quick. You haven't got the time then to think late or, you know. You have to be organized before things happen, not when things happen.
and that needs other players to also be telling you, hey, move 2 steps left.
That's all it is. Doc, all I would say to Doc, hey, Doc, push 1, 2 left. He hated marking. Doctor hated marking. But he realized, I mean, if you first have to think back to the goal that we scored, the second goal in Tunisia.
The killer pass.
But how did the killer pass happen?
He won it.
He made the tackle.
Yeah.
Doctor made the tackle. But he made the tackle because he was on the opponent. He wasn't 4 yards off the opponent when it happened. So that early organization even enabled Doctor to make a tackle.
Even.
And that's what I'm talking about. So it was continuously in Doctor's ear, left Doc, 2 yards left, 2 yards right, get closer, push on, you know? And no one, okay, obviously people in the stands don't hear it, and, you know, so it's not entirely obvious, but that's organization. And I don't see anyone at Chiefs doing that.
The last question that we have to address there was the one around the nationality of a South African coach. You want to weigh in?
I thought you'd forgotten.
Nah, can't forget.
Yeah, you know, obviously we all would like local. And there are some very, very good local coaches that have given the chance and the structure in which to work on, I think, could do wonderful jobs. But we're not in that situation at the moment. We have a coach. People are saying, let's not chop and change. So we have a coach now. There are some thought processes that I see are quite nice. He's gone for a younger group of players.
But which would be better for us? Like in an ideal world, what's the best way, given your experience, for South Africa to be looking down the line?
Well, I mean, obviously, how good is Pitso now? Pitso's evolved. You know, he's doing wonderful work in Africa and in another country, which is immensely difficult. Support him with the likes of at Sundowns now. There's all those guys that have got all the brains in football. You know, you still got the Gavin Hunts that can contribute. You still got Eric Tinklers, who's been part of the national team. Roger de Sa's helping Kuros in Egypt. We have coaches that if you put them together, you know, let them work with the national team, they can make it work.
What makes a South African coaching team like the one you're describing potentially better than one that we could hire from outside the country?
Well, the understanding of the game, understanding of the players, the complex players, because it doesn't only come from the ability on the field. These coaches would know what's happening off the field far more than outside coaches.
Give me an example.
They'll know. I mean, Clive Walker, he would know when something's not right with shoes. Shoes would go into a lull, you go into quietness, and then Clive would pull him aside by himself and have a discussion with him. And even in our team, part of my role of a captain was to have a look and watch players when they're coming down to breakfast and seeing, you know, if you crack a joke or something, who's not laughing, who is laughing, who you know, everybody has their own ways and means, yes. But identify when somebody is not top of their mind. And that's as I said, mentality of the game is huge. And I'm not saying that Bruce wouldn't be able to do that, but a local sees it a little bit easier. Sees those kind of things which make a player tick on the field too. It's not just on the field, it's also off the field. What's happening? How are they going to relax in training sessions in that week leading up to the international matches? What type of training sessions we're going to have? Because the coaches don't have the same amount of hours and time that club coaches have. What aspects are they going to bring into the team, and their blend of the team? You know, how's that team going to blend together? You know, and so those type of aspects are huge for a national team.
And you've been a national coach, right? Banyana.
Yeah.
2002 silverware.
Yeah.
How does that? Yeah. How did that feel? You know, a lot of people don't know that. They probably even forgotten, Neil, that you were the Banyana coach in 2002 and won the COSAFA.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it because I thought I always had something to offer, and I try to bring the mentality that I've just spoken to you about now into any area of the national teams. I when I needed to bring the discussion points across, I would emphasize that. You know, some would take them, some would not, and that's sort of my strength and my ability is that part of the game. You know, identifying those aspects about the game, simplifying the game.
I've got 5 minutes now, Neil. So I'm going to throw questions, and then you're going to hit me with short answers that take us back through your career, right? So let's start out with, wow, where do I start? You were not a striker. I mean, you were not a defender when you arrived at Kaizer Chiefs, and you got to Chiefs at age 21. What were you doing? What was your position? How did you convert?
No, I was a midfielder, and I must tell you, in my earlier days, I was even an attacking midfielder, scoring loads of goals.
Loads.
So I played in the centre of the midfield for Durban City. I played in the centre of midfield for AmaZulu, and then came to Chiefs in the centre of midfield. But I came to Chiefs in 1990, so I was already 28.
Yeah, and then you get number 9, jersey number 9. I knew.
They could see potential there.
Number 9. That was.
No, what happened is Mark McGenna finished that year. He finished the season before, and there weren't many numbers available, so Mark McGenna's number came about. Yeah, and then I just took it on. So. Don't forget, I scored some goals for Chiefs.
32 goals, to be fair to you. Deflections, own goals, I'm sure.
That's one thing I can say. I've never, ever scored an own goal.
In your career? 360 games?
Ever scored an own goal. I was clearing more off the line. Never an own goal. Never. That's because... that comes from early positioning, what I was talking about.
Yeah. The nickname, Mukoko. Where do you get it from?
Well, at AmaZulu, I was called Pikoko. So when I went to Chiefs, obviously, like to change it a bit. I know what it refers to as a chief cock and pecking on the floor and, feeding and then lifting up, giving instructions, and the boss cock, and yeah.
Okay, so that's like the male chicken that's looks up, makes. That's you. Controlling situations. Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
And then Neil, why when we look back, right? People say you were part of one of the greatest Kaizer Chiefs teams of all time. That team, the Shoes Moshweo, Ace Kuze, Doc Kumalo, Lucas, Chipo Muladedi, and the names are just flow off the tongue.
Yeah.
Would you agree? And why?
Look, to say one of the greatest Chiefs teams of all time is huge. But yes, it was an unbelievable team. That year of 91 and 92, there wasn't many a trophy we lost. We lost, I think, in 92, we lost the one trophy, which was a Coca-Cola to AmaZulu. And we missed a hatful of chances that day. But that was unbelievable. But you got to remember, at that stage, that's after that year, all our players, Fani Madida, Shane, they just went. Fani went to Turkey, Shoes went to Turkey. Everybody just left. Lucas overseas, and I was suddenly left in the Kaizer Chiefs setup with players just going abroad. And I was already 30 years old, so I never really thought I had the opportunity to go overseas, not then anyway. And so my job, I then took over the role of being the father of the players and making sure that they're training at optimum level, because of any time during a training session. And I took the likes of Tabanga BC, Tabo Morkis under my wing. And I taught them the good habits that I'd been taught as a young player, as a professional.
Neil, I've got 1 minute.
If you're asked to do 30 sit-ups, do 32 sit-ups. And then they used to say to me, why do you want to do more? I say, because if I do 32, I know the players around me are only doing 26. and I'm already doing 6 more than those players. Okay, fine. So then they started to cotton on to it, and I started to get doubles and them all in front of the training session and never at the back, and doing the exercises more than others and quicker than others and more competent than others, and so I took that onus on with me to help the players around me, and yes, we still won trophies through the 90s that I was involved with Chiefs. We should have won a lot more. I mean, you mentioned all the players. If we had retained those players, we were the only team that was losing that amount of players. Pirates would lose one player like Fish in 1997. Sundowns would lose Sizwe and Philemon. One player in 95 or something like that. But we were losing 5, 6, 7, 8 players. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then suddenly Mark Williams would come in. Then he would go to China.
Neil, I have to go. The music is playing. And you've scored an own goal tonight because we have to bring you back. Like, we didn't even get into the stuff about you and the celebration. Maybe I'll hijack you on Tuesday on the golf course and we'll talk more about your career. But please commit to us. You're going to come back and be an ultimate inspiration where we don't ask you questions about current things, but we just talk about the things that you were talking about in the past. Tell me yes.
Yeah, and I'd just like to ask everybody just to please be part of this whole inspiration that we're trying to get to.
All right, Neil, but you need to say yes. You're going to come back.
Yeah, no problem. 100%.
Absolutely. There you go. Neil Tovey, our ultimate inspiration tonight. And you guys asked so many questions, and, we just didn't get into so much about that fantastic career. So we're going to do that soon, maybe even next week. We'll see what we do. However, Ayabonga's here in the studio, strolling in and feeling good, looking good.
Man, feeling tired, brother.
What do you mean, man? Your head is like,
yeah,
you
man,
got
we
that
were there
thing.
at the
You got
investment
that
conference.
Unale walk, man. I saw
Yeah,
President
it's tough.
Ramaphosa on TV there, investment conference, Santon, Nikulmangan.
About investment in South Africa. South Africa's got a 1.1 trillion target for 5 years.
To bring in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the people from all over the world, right? Investors from places like Ireland, Portugal, the US, the UK were out there, making big commitments. Some commitments include massive expansions in Ford's facilities out in, in the north of Pretoria, right through to Telkom, which is committing around 7 billion for capital investment in telecom. So a lot of money, discussed at that particular conference. And, the who's who effectively in the South African economy was there. And we're going to be bringing some of that back to Metro FM Talk tonight. We'll talk about that and also a strike out in the Western Cape in the taxi industry.
Yeah, I hear that was very disruptive, especially morning traffic today.
No, that's the ride hailing. Or you're talking about
in Cape Town.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a lot of disruption today, even in the morning in Cape Town. People were struggling to get around.
Indeed.
Okay.
And you can imagine, in Cape Town, the bulk of many people, if they're not using the bus services, are using the taxis. And you would have seen the violence that we saw sometime last year as well about routes. And it seems this time around, a lot of the issues at play have to do with licensing. Many of them concerned about that, and they've got grievances that they sent to the Western Cape Premier, Alan Windy, earlier on today.
All right, so that's what's coming up on Metro FM Talk. Make sure you stick with Ayabonga to get financially up to date and find out, with all this investment coming into the country, how you can get your share of that trillions.
Get your share.
Yeah, you can do something that can earn and help work and okay, so
unless you are in construction.
Yeah,
an engineer or
okay.
Or like Breeze, you are there in industrial applications and all manner of other things. Then
sharp. Yes. Listen to
some of us here in the world of broadcasting, we get paid to talk. There's no talk there.
All right, so that's what's coming up. Make sure you stay with us. And tomorrow, I'll be back for more with the Ultimate Sports Show. I'm your jersey number 10. This has been a fantastic Thursday. Can't wait to do more with you tomorrow as we go into a weekend where there's no local football, but still plenty to talk about with those World Cup qualifiers.
Oh, yeah. Pretoria, the capital. We've got you covered. 92.4 FM. It's where you're at. say. You're rocking with